I wish I had a book when I started, a good book teaching how to make bows and arrows when I began my journey as a bow maker. It was trial and error, and because of the one book I had, it was mostly error. The book did a great job talking about shelters, how to start a fire with a bow drill and a hand drill, how to snare, how to trap, how to find edible plants. It was a really wonderful book, but the bow making left a lot. I wound up buying, several years later, after making so many failed attempts at bows, The Bows and Arrows of Native Americans by Jim Ham, which is a great book. It's a relatively small book, but it was really good, and it awoke in something in my mind as far as how to make bows that work. In my library, I also have, of course, just the first 3 volumes. I don't have volume 4. Traditional Bowyer's Bibles. Now, it's one thing to watch videos, just talk to people, go to forums, but it's another thing to have actually in your hands a decent book that talks about what you're interested in it. Now, I did not reinvent the wheel. Although there are many books out there, the one that I decided to write, which is available on Amazon, I feel it goes into more esoteric deals, along with having the nuts and bolts of how to build a bow, the design philosophy around it. And the philosophy that I have allows me to design things that are out of the box in many ways, with good attention to the mechanics, to the engineering of the bows. And that's what I wanted to impart when I wrote this. Let me just go through, available to you, Amazon, the chapters and what I have in there. And then I'm going to get a little bit into the book that I'm going to start writing in March, the follow-up, The Bow Maker's Notebook Volume 2. Chapter 1, just the basics, the equation. And I call it an equation because it actually is an equation. Let me jump ahead here. Where is it? Well, there it is. Wood plus design plus execution equals a bow. And just for the fun of it, you can see that equation there. That's actually not the equation for books. But I have chapter 1 is the equation, physical properties of wood and how it varies between different species, the design versus managing stress, execution of the design, and safe draw length, which is a concern to many people. I get that question asked a lot. I've got a 45-pound bow, 67 inches long. How far can I draw it back? There are no absolutes, but I can get it in the ballpark. Chapter 2, bow woods. Orientation of growth rings is the first section. Then I start getting into grouping woods that I am very familiar with. The first group is Osage, mulberry, black locust, and red elm. And I group those together. Red elm is totally different from Osage, but all 4 of those you have to work down to 1 growth ring included in there. Juniper and yew, other assorted conifers, apple serviceberry, and dogwood, hickory, and hop hornbeam. Group those together. Maples, oaks, walnut, and cherry. Elms, the ulnuses, white ash, and birch. Chapter 3, my toolkit. Then I get into various things that I personally use. I'll just kind of show you this here. My shaving bench, and then, ooh, nice pictures of rasps and stuff. And if you notice, there are, because of the formatting of a notebook on Amazon, there are generous margins, but this is a notebook in many ways, and so I would encourage anybody that has it, as you're building through, take notes so you can remember stuff. Just write it down in your book, and you're not going to lose it like on these blank pieces of paper or written pieces of paper that get thrown around and lost. Just write it right in your book. Intermission, a hunting story, and then chapter 4, I have 3 project bows. I have a D bow, which this is a D bow, which means when you draw it back, the whole thing bends. It looks like the letter D. Working with green wood, designing, execution, materials. Chapter 2, or chapter 5 actually, project bow number 2, is a long bow. The typical, and I don't have one handy here, narrow, deep handle, the hows and the whys, and the wheres. I also include rawhide backing, how to rawhide back. I My rawhide backing process is a little different than you're going to see on a lot of YouTube videos, but it works, and it works well, and it's not messy. And I could not even guess how many bows that I've rawhide backed. The next up, Chapter 6, Project Bow number 3, a gull-wing horse bow. How to start from a green stave, to bend it over a form, let it dry in the bent form. It avoids some of the heat bending that you might have to do. It's probably one of the oldest methods, and that's where that bow came from. Also, why is it gull-wing? After doing the woodwork, then it's sinew backing. How to sinew back, and then final finishing. Case study, my paddle bow. That's a section, Chapter 8, the Bowyer's float. And that is a mysterious tool that has been lost in the sands of time. It shows up on a coat of arms for a Bowyer's Guild, a Bowyer's group, society that has been around since 1488 and is still in existence. I'm not going to get into great detail on that. It's all in here, and then let's see, I believe that is it. It's enough, but that's it. Now, book number 2, I'm going to start writing, is Bowmaker's Notebook Volume 2, Painting and Design. These are not in any order. I'm going to have 3 project bows. The Holmegard, the Heart of Speed, talking about the whys, the engineering of it, just how fast they are, how to build one of those. Arrows, a lot of stuff on arrows. Taking Lives, philosophical view on hunting. Project bow number 2, the Ultimate Horse Bow. Sinew-backed, Osage or mulberry or whatever you want to use. And I'm also going to get into my particular snakeskin decorations. It's not completely snakeskin back. And then it has an X pattern on the limbs made of backstrap sinew. I use buffalo because it's long. And also, not completely authentic, bent tab tips with cushion of rawhide. And bent tab is, you bend the tips up. And so it makes a nice hook, and then there's that cushion of rawhide on there. The project bow number 3 will be talking kit. Bows, also the arrows and the quiver. Making a set. And I'm going to be selling all 3 of the project bows, and one will have the complete set that goes along with it. And then, this comes up a lot. My journey as a seller of bows, which gets into ethics, being sure that what you're selling is good, and some of the pitfalls, the difficulties, what you need to do, how to deal with people. I'm going to include that in that. Okay, that's it, folks. You can buy your copy of A Bowmaker's Notebook if you're not into making bows. It's an interesting book because it has a lot of philosophy, and it's kind of funny to read. Plus it has cool pictures. Look at that. Okay. Have a good one. I'm going to continue on my day. Jerry, the rawhide went on really nice, and now it's time to do the tips. I'm going to paint the design before I finish the belly and do the final tillering on it. But if I'm gentle, I'm not going to scratch the paint. I'm just really eager to see it. Have a good one. Thank you. Thank you for buying my book, supporting me. It's greatly appreciated. I love this thing. I actually finished this with 1,500 grits, so you can't see how shiny it is, but the thing is like glass. My personal bow, not for sale.